Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Classic Quest podcast, where we will be reviewing the Brat's album, Funkdafied, and we'll be talking about it track by track, breaking down our thoughts and opinions on each one. My name is Holden Stefan Roy, HSR.
I am your lady friend Bonnie.
And yeah, just to let you know, if you want to skip the intro bit, you can check the description of the video and see when we start talking about shit. But also to let you know, we're amateurs in a sense. We just started doing this, and a couple of years has gone by, so we're a little bit better than we used to be. Mostly it's like pick up an album, listen to it, talk about it, rinse, repeat, just keep going at that. So sometimes we miss historical nuances and connections and all sorts of stuff in our ignorance, and that is where you, the wonderful people watching this, can totally save the day by dropping dope-ass comments full of awesome information and education nuggets and points. Feel free to criticize. Like you can call us names if you so happen to want to in the middle of your education.
If it's necessary.
Education comes in all forms. Anyway, on that note, like, we really read all the comments. I answer everybody. And last week, we talked about Gangsta Nips, the South Park Psycho. And on that, the man himself who requested it, Super Old School 1994, left this doozy of a comment here. So I might not read the whole thing. But
yeah, it's a big one.
Just to give you a sense of it, it's like, this album is one of these few albums that never fail to make me laugh every time. Like, when I hear Smoking Amp, it's just too hilarious in my opinion. Like shooting your next door neighbor for good luck, lol. It seems like the sound was a little iffy for you guys in certain parts of the album. A little iffy. Mostly It was the content more than the sound. It's definitely a sound that you must have an acquired taste for, which makes sense. It's more on the shocking, extreme side of shit.
But not like we haven't heard, things like this before.
Yeah, it's just preferences. I get that, but raw subject matter requires raw production and grittiness is the way I look at it. And honestly, having just listened to some bad attempts at raw and, like, let's say shininess that came from Insane Clown Posse's recent efforts compared against the grittiness, I see your point. Anyway, it goes on like that. But the point is, there's lots of knowledge and interesting. It's almost like he's contributing to the review and making a mega review. And that's what my dream of our comment section is. So I just wanted to share that with you and encourage you to feel free to say whatever the hell that you want in that comment section. Before we get into it, I did want to give a quick shout out to our patrons. Super Old School 1994, Linda Williams, Chris Prado, Carl J, and Ismail Gadamsi. We'll talk a bit about that at the end of the video. And on that note, Bonnie, why don't you introduce who we will be talking about today, even if we've said the name already?
Well, this week we are doing the Brat Funkdafied.
Woo!
And this came out June 28th, 1994, so it's an oldie. It's a good one.
And this is in our every 10 episodes, we want to do a woman rapper because there's ladies in hip-hop, and unfortunately there's not enough representation of the ladies in hip-hop anywhere. It's the same, like 5 to 10 people on every list, and this is one of those people on this list, so... I mean, that just because, this is the part of the show where we're going to contextualize, like, how we know the artist. And I think part of that, every time we do a lady show, is why did you pick this person in this album? So I Googled, and I saw this, and I said, we're going to do it. I didn't even look at it. It's shorter than normally my rule for, like, how long an album should be for us to talk about. I like to go 10 or more. Whatever. It's been a dense weekend for me, so I was like, okay, I'll do a little short one this week. But do you know the Brat? Have you heard of her before?
I feel like I may have come across her name before. There's something about her that stands out, but I can't think of where or what I've encountered of hers. But, like, she is, I did find out that she is the first solo rapper, female rapper, to go platinum, selling over 1 million records. So I think that, she clearly was, like, in her prime, and she was like a successful rapper, and she was, like, number 11 on Billboard. So that's pretty cool. Like, she was really successful. Like, it's just a shame that I don't know more about her.
So I don't really know that much about her. I know she comes from Chicago. I know that Yo MTV Raps did a contest, and she did well and met the Kross boys. And the Kross boys introduced her to Jermain Dupree. She had to be, based on math, 17-ish, 18-ish, somewhere around that age. And then Jermain Dupree likes it, and they make this album. That's my understanding. That's like the short
And he
version.
became pretty successful because of her like album blowing up too. Like it was
Kriss
kind of like
Kross, Lil
Yeah.
Bow Wow. I mean, there's
but this was 1994. Little Bow
but
Wow wasn't
Kriss
around at the
Kross
time.
was still there before this, if I'm not mistaken. Kriss Kross was popping.
When was Kriss Kross
like
around? Maybe in
92
like
or
the
something?
80s. I feel like he was in like
I
the
don't
late
know.
80s.
Hold on. I mean, but I'm pretty sure like Kriss Kross, 91. They
Okay.
came before the Brat because part of the story is Kriss Kross introduced them to Jermain Dupree.
Right.
So I mean, just it had to be. I digress.
Anyways, Lil Bow Wow wasn't there.
Every time I think of Jermain Dupree, the classic lines from "Say What You Say" by Eminem and Dr. Dre comes in, and it's like, over 80 million records sold, and I have to do it with 10 or 11-year-olds. Because what you say every single time, that's what I hear of.
Yep.
I don't really like a lot of Jermain Dupree's things. I'm pretty sure he's behind that song, "Hey, where the party's at, dabba 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 da." Like that song, I'm pretty sure is with him. I mean, I liked Bow Wow because like I was like I'm 6 months younger than him, so when
Wasn't he also,
dropped,
like-
it was like really cool to see somebody my age rapping.
But wasn't he also like messing around with like, or not messing around with, but
mean-
like working with like Mariah Carey when she was like 16, 17, like when she was pretty young too?
Maybe. I mean, I
think
might be
so.
wrong about Bow Wow. I'm gonna double check that while we're talking. But my whole point is like, I don't know, like a whole lot that So Def is there. Yeah, he's from So Def. So I mean, from what I can tell, I looked into So Def. The last thing they released was in 2014. Prior to that was like 2008 and shit. So I thought it was interesting to see like how this mega empire at one point, let's say, of musical prowess in terms of charts and like popping people, just doesn't seem to exist anymore. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's manifested into other shit. But like I realized I haven't heard the name So Def in so fucking long until we listened to this project. With that said, when I looked at the wiki page, it looks like the Brat's peak was around this album and a little bit after
Well, this
that.
was like her debut album.
Yeah, but like this had
I thought the late 90s she was like pretty successful too, no?
but in terms of charting and shit, I think her biggest, the platinum hit there is off of this project. I don't know that she ever and then apparently decided to flip it to the sex stuff in like the 2000s, kind of like with the post Lil Kim era and shit.
Yeah.
And this is just what I read on Wikipedia, so I don't fucking know how much I actually know about this. I'm just reciting stuff to let you know I looked into this a little bit. As far as that goes, this to me is like fresh. I had no idea what to fucking expect. It was more like, I mean, I assumed funk. But like aside from that, I had no idea what to expect going into this project. You look at that cover, and she just looks like she's ready to fuck you up, but there's like water and cool coloring, and it's Funkdafied. And it really told me fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I looked at this and I'm like, this might rank high on my list of album covers that do nothing for me. Not like it's bad, because bad covers do something for you. They make you feel bad.
It's like an average cover that like doesn't really get your attention one way or another.
It's like that shit that you'd like look twice at in a thrift store while looking for something because, otherwise you probably wouldn't notice it. I'm not trying to like talk shit. I'm saying there's nothing here. She's just standing there looking regular, and there's blue skies and water with some like red shit, like a lamp light is on her. And anyway, that's enough about the cover on my end. It's the title's cool, Funkdafied. Like it just sounds like, yo, this is gonna be a funk fused experience, and you're gonna get fucked up a bit like drugs on funk. That's what I pictured. But again, all right, so it's gonna be funky with the blind cover. That's what I had going into this.
I do think that like the cover doesn't necessarily. It doesn't like exude what like the album itself does. Like it doesn't match necessarily. Like it is, she's kind of standing in like she's I think she was in like Florida and in Chicago. But if she was in Chicago, I assume this is like one of the Great Lakes that like hits there somewhere around there, like Lake Michigan or whichever one it is. And she's standing there in like her like fully clothed in like this like big oversized jacket, and it is kind of like, I mean, I guess if you want to compare it to what she's supposed to look, she's kind of known as like the female Snoop Dogg, as we will kind of discover. But like,
apparently that's like by design. Like Jermain Dupree's like, yeah, you could be the female Snoopy Snoop.
Yeah. So, like, maybe in that sense, she's kind of looking the way that Snoop Dogg dressed a little bit. Like, it's kind of oversized, you know, it's not very feminine type clothing. So I'm just going to say that. I don't really know what else.
I mean, I appreciate the fact that, like, the intent is to bring her here being hard, not being a sex symbol. Like, I think that in and of itself is where props, like, if you come at it from a feminist movement perspective, is pretty cool. And just to even have that opportunity where it's like, you don't have to be, like, half naked as a rapper. Like, as much as somebody like Nicki Minaj wants to talk about how shameful it is that women have to sell sex or be a stripper before they can rap,
you don't have to.
the woman literally did a bunch of plastic surgery to turn herself into a Barbie to use sex to, like, she didn't do anything different. It was just videos instead of a poll, you know? So, like, to see this approach where it's like, nah, it's not what it's about. It's about skill. It's about rap, you know? Like, that's, I could say that part of the image was really cool. And then I saw pictures of her from, like, 2000 where it was like, oh, you got boobies now. That was literally, I don't know that, like, she does in here, but she damn well hides them well. Whereas, like...
Well, I mean, on this cover especially, yes.
No, but, like, you look at... Like, I watched the videos for this album, too. Like, she's kind of fly-looking. She looks more like a boss, you know? Like, she's coming in. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on it. I think it's cool to have, like, this alternate route, like, you know? Anyway, just, like, I'm starting to see guys be cashiers in stores in Montreal. And that's, like, new. Guys could not be cashiers. I had years of experience doing it from working at a video store, and I found out that if you apply to grocery stores or anything, guys are on the shelves, girls are on the cash. That's a little sexist and weird, depending. So, literally, you could file probably, like, could have filed, like, a discrimination case, because if they needed cashiers, they would not, like, stock boys. That's like, guys could not get the job. It would have only been women. And so, anyway, I like to see those lines get blurred. I digress. This is the shit you can't fuck with.
The B-R-A-T, roar. Those with no love, I stay above like God.
Bonnie, how do you feel about this one?
Well, right away, we know that she's going to promise to make some funky music, and, like, she's kind of, it sounds like she's, like, swearing, like, on a Bible in, like, a courthouse or something. Like, she's testifying a little bit. And it does clearly right away. You kind of get, like, the feeling of her being, like, the female Snoop Dogg. Like, it's, like, 100%, like, across the board here. But she sounds pretty cool. Like, it's pretty sick. Like, this whole track is cool. And she's basically saying on this one that she's the best, and she's going to make music that you love, and she makes money, and it's a catchy song. I really liked it. I give this a 4.4. It's good. It's catchy. She kind of, you know, introduces us. She lets us know why she's here and what she's going to make, and that you're going to enjoy her music. So I give this, a 4.4 on 5.
All right. So I listened to this, and I instantly had the Snoop Dogg connection.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from the beats, it comes off with that West Coast kind of banger beats, which I understand were dominating hip-hop. And then I listened to the rhymes, and I want to give Brat all the credit and say that woman can rap. The skill is absolutely there.
Yeah.
The talent is so there. But when I listened to the bars, it felt, I don't want to be, like, wrong here, because sometimes I feel like I say shit on this channel and I'm just missing the mark and everybody gets mad. I know that this is possibly one of those things, but maybe it's just because I don't trust Jermain Dupree, but, like, this shit just feels so disingenuous. Like, I don't feel the passion in it. I feel like this is the female Snoop Dogg. Like, what I'm trying to say is, the only distinguishable thing about her that would make her stand out in any conceivable way, really, is that it's a woman saying, fools sitting all frat, brat, tat, 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 bitch, and it's like that. Well, let me lift you to the sky. Just climb aboard the B-R-A-T ride. Like, I don't want to go too deep into it. There's not really that much that gets said. Like, quick to pull your trigger, quick to pull your card, and it don't stop and it don't quit. In 94, I be the shot, shit. And in the years to come, shit ain't gonna change. So Def, you know the name of the game. Well, we earlier pointed out that So Def didn't survive. And I would say that the Brat hasn't really done much since 2003, I think was their last album. So, like, this is some bold ass shit. It sounds like we've done a lot of these reviews, and I'm really kind of happy that we listened to this album, in a sense that we often hear them complaining about people copying styles and copying flows and like producing a sound. And I believe this may be one of the albums where, and it feels like it's unfortunate, like she's young and she eats Jermain Dupree, big old record producer guy, and he convinces her to be this female Snoop Dogg type, and you can tell she's hard and she's got a swagger to it.
And she clearly is like a talented person because she won like the competition or whatever.
But like, this is 94, so like Wu-Tang's coming out, like Redman has already done What the album. Like, there's almost no excuse for how vapid all of this feels to me. Like, I get that she's gonna bring the funk, and she's a good rapper, and that's like the gist of it. But it sounds, and she proves she has the skill to rhyme and flow. But there's no real content in these bars. It's like as we go through the album, a lot of what she says in this song is what is gonna be said in the next 8 songs, with very little to like flip it up or make it interesting. And I feel really shitty like coming in like a hater like that. But like, I don't know, like, ain't I ridiculous? It's that bad mama jama, like, hammer, you can't touch this, don't fuck with my shit nor my clique, don't even trip cause you bound to get split, bitch. Any rapper could have said that. And
yeah,
that's my point about this. There's nothing about this that really feels like I am getting to know the individual that is the Brat. I feel like the individual that is the Brat can kick a wicked Snoop Dogg flow and kick it over a great funky beat. I would love to see her live because I bet she can rock the party. I'm not even saying she's not like a good MC. I'm saying Jermain Dupree played her fucking dirty. Because damn, it's sad, in my opinion, to see a person with this much talent be coerced into this. I mean, it sounds good. It's pleasurable to listen to. But it feels just vapid. Still, I gave this one a 4.35. I think part of it being that it's the first song on the album, so it's the first time I heard her say anything, gives it like a higher mark, in my opinion. The beat and production work is stellar on this one. That is a funkified beat that I want to listen to.
yeah.
But frankly, anybody could have rapped this song. And I think that makes me sad. And maybe I'm wrong. And maybe you guys want to say whatever about me. And you feel free to educate me. Please tell me, like, why I'm wrong. But given that it's 94, based on our understanding of shit, that's about, like, 7 years of dope shit that's been kicked out since, like, Rakim and them start dropping in 87. Like, come on. That's how I feel about that. Anyway.
Well, let's see if there's something that for all y'all can find.
Doesn't it also kind of sound like fuck all y'all?
A little bit.
It's like that, it's the Brat.
All right, Bonnie. What do you think of for y'all, all y'all, for y'all?
Yeah, it's a very funky beat. I'm just gonna read you like the chorus. I thought that was interesting. Who is that making that funky noise? It's a brat-tat-tat busted out on that ass. So I only really want to like read just that like part because like that's like very Snoop Dogg, like that rat-tat-tat like kind of sound.
Rat-tat-tat busting out on your ass.
Yeah, like it's just like they're really just like copying like his style. Which is interesting, I guess. It's or very like Snoop inspired or whatever. And this is basically a song that like everyone can jam for, and it is like a song that's created for everybody to enjoy it. And she's promising the funk, she's bringing the funk. It's funky, it's cool. I like this one. I gave it another 4.4. It's another good song.
So the sound of this is really good. Like it sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's got like the lyrical density of Bad and Bougie. Like I'm not gonna lie, but I'm quick to pull the trigger, quick to pull. Wait, didn't she just say that on the last song? Hard light for the. I mean, I swear she said pull the trigger, pull the card, kind of thing on the last song.
Yeah.
Hard light for the boulevard. It's the B to the R-A-T. She spelled out her name in the last song. Sending good vibrations from the trunk to the front of your ride. Where I live, that's what they like. That's cool.
That's what they like.
But she's doing
they
that.
do it exactly the same as.
But they are bumping good vibrations. I'm not trying to hate like that. I'm saying from like a songwriting artist perspective, you know, like I can't. We've been doing this for too long to not care about this type of shit, you know, the authenticity of it all. Something for them fools when they crawl and they creep and crawl is fuck y'all, all y'all, whatever. I think it sounds like she's saying fuck.
She's saying it's like, for all of y'all.
But it could
everyone.
also at this like fa y'all. But the way she says it, it's almost like sneaking a fuck in through the censors. That's kind of like if you seek Amy.
Yeah.
Get it? So to me, that has the depth of it's bad and bougie, cooking up dope with a Uzi. Like, I mean, no, she's not promoting drugs, but promoting drugs like that might not have been the trending for the pop charts at the time.
Well, we do find out that she does.
Look, smoking weed is different.
Yeah, but in the 90s, it wasn't.
No, Snoop Dogg was making it cool. Dr. Dre dropped The Chronic in 92.
Yeah.
And, like, I mean, weed is different. Like, I'm not trying to compare her to Migos. I'm trying to say that this song and pretty much a lot of this album sounds like it was manufactured to chart. In the way that everything
it did, right?
Everything Migos does is manufactured to chart. Like, it's not about soul or culture. It's about, well, I guess in a sense of modern culture is about charting. Tangent time. More of a question for all y'all hip-hop heads. How important was the Billboard charts and American Top 40 and pop, like, charts for, like, how y'all found hip-hop or rated its success back in the day?
Or still today.
Well, today it's very important because we know that based off of every modern fucking debate.
Yeah, but we could just, like, it's nice to ask if you guys care about that.
I get the feeling that for older heads, you look at the Billboard and goes, oh, it's just promoting trash.
Yeah.
But that makes me wonder, what the fuck was charting back then? Like, clearly this kind of stuff was being made, so it was charting. There's no way that you could have, like, Tikal and this and be like, yeah, that's the same quality of music. Like, you see what I'm trying to say here? So, is it that the music that is dope is not being made, or that it never really charted in the way that it was supposed to in those charts?
Well, I think that's the point of like underground rap, is that like underground rap like doesn't really chart.
Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like the Wu-Tang Clan was all over Billboard and shit. Like, maybe it was, and I don't really know. That's why I'm trying to like ask you guys, because I feel like this is more of a granular conversation I have with people, and I'm always wondering, like, how did y'all find music back in the day with record stores? Was it word of mouth or was it Billboard? Because if it was word of mouth, then the truth is y'all just started trusting the charts at some point, as opposed to ignoring it like I do. Like, I ignore the chart. I don't give a fuck what's charting. Post Malone's been #1 in Canada for a year. Do you think, like, fuck, I couldn't
even tell you one song that he sings.
I've been fucking pills and popping hellies, man. I feel just like a rock star.
Right.
Everybody knows that one. #1 in Canada for a fucking year. Obviously, you can't look at the charts for great music. You can look at it for great pop vapid shit. Kind of like this, which I'm not trying to be a shit, because I want it to be like, her rap is dope. And let's say she was writing some real shit, it would have been the firest. And it kind of makes me a little bit sad, because, I mean, what about this song is there that stands out again? It's the Snoop Dogg flow. She is apparently called a brat because of a single child situation. I don't know. She promises to funk the whole funk and nothing but the funk. You know what? She kind of delivers on that.
Yep.
This whole album is that.
Pretty funky.
Anyway, I gave this song a 4.1. Like, it delivers nice. It sounds good, but it just doesn't do much for me.
Okay.
The next one is called Fire It Up.
Puffin' on blunts and coming up with some more of that funky stuff. Rough and tough is not enough to keep.
I really like this song, and I'm biased, so it really isn't like that the Brat or anything has changed per se. Okay, she's rapping better. I feel like her rap is doper here. Like, there's something about this flow that's just nicer, and that might have to do with this bass line. Now, I played bass for a while. In fact, I can still pick up a bass guitar and poorly play the bass line on this song, because it's not like they jacked this shit. Maybe with permission, maybe not. Flea, the guy whose bass line this is, did do the bass line for Bust a Move, so he is friends with the hip-hop community. But in case you didn't know, there's a certain song called Under the Bridge, and at the end of Under the Bridge, when they're doing the Under the Bridge, Anyway, that sounded like shit, but that end part where they're like, under the bridge downtown is where, and then like the bass line is dun 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 dun, which is basically this bass line. I'm like, no fucking way. And you can check in the sample credits, it's got under the bridge, and I'm like, that's fucking dope. So I had so much trouble listening to the Brat, because like if you've ever played something, like you learned a bass line, like you learn, it's hard to not just fixate on your, like, I love that bass
that makes
line.
sense.
Like, it is one of my favorite bass melodies of all time. And here it is in the Brat song.
See, I feel like I'm in the same boat as you, but with drums. I'd like minimally learned drums in high school. And so like some songs, like that's all I hear is the drums because it's what I learned.
Yeah, but anyway, so I heard that bass line. I don't know what the rest of the beat sounds like. All I heard in the beat, seriously, I mean, I know there's other stuff that happened, but all I could hear was the bass line and how good she bounced off that shit. And it's pretty cool because it's basically about weed and she's getting fired up. So, I mean, it's fine. My day starts out light but ends out very heavy as the night approach. When I take flow from all that smoke, that I smoke. No joke. As I commence to take flights, it's got to be first class because this ass could give a fuck about coach, bitch. How high do you fly? When do you fly, Brat? From the bottom to the top to the bottom and back. Now as I lay me in the cut, getting fucked up, puffing on blunts and coming up with some more of that funky stuff. It just sounds like Snoop Dogg Light. She raps it so good. It sounds so good to me that I get into song 4.5. I mean, that bass line, next level. Not that they composed it, but that bass line is next level. So they chose a good one. That chorus is good too, that addy-daddy-daddy-da shit.
Yeah.
That is a beautiful chorus. Everything about that. But I'm pretty sure it's like a sample too. I might be wrong.
I don't know.
Or maybe it's something. But like, that's fine. So they take that and then, I don't know. Nothing about like the lyrics are dope except really that. It's just pretty straightforward.
It's a weed song.
This time, instead of pledging allegiance to pot, we're pledging allegiance to marijuana. I mean, sorry. Instead of pledging allegiance to funk, we are now pledging allegiance to marijuana. I don't know that you can pledge allegiance to all sorts of different things. Maybe you can, but it seems like it takes away from your prior pledge to now pledge allegiance to something different. So I can't help it. I am this kind of a person. I'm going to think about it like that. 4.5. And then she smokes a joint with somebody after, and it sounds like they're about to fuck.
Well, so the beginning, like the intro to the song is like a clip from a Cheech and Chong movie, which I thought was very like fitting and appropriate for this song. And clearly this is her weed song. This is where she's like really like introducing, she's like, I smoke weed, and she's kind of saying like, I smoke weed, I smoke wherever I go. It's kind of like a slower, chiller version of anything we've heard so far, and it's all right. And I believe the person that she is smoking with is Jermain Dupree, because we roll into Funkdafied, which is kind of a song about, or it flows right into the next song, which it also has a feature of Jermain Dupree, and I think that that's him. That's it. So I gave this song a 4 on 5. I thought it was all right. I mean, it's okay.
I was like, is she segueing to the next song? Is that what's happening here?
No, you just gave me a weird look.
That's what I was saying. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to, like, if that was a cut. Anyway, as you guys now know, the next song is called
Funkdafied.
Vocalistic with the real shit. We got the shit you can't fuck with.
I just had this epiphany. Isn't one of those samples in a Biggie song, like Big Papa? I mean, I know Big Papa comes after this. They're like, dun, dun,
I mean, there
like
are
the piano-y kind of part.
There are things that are featured in the song that reminded me of other things. So yeah, it could be. I don't know if it's Biggie, but it definitely. I mean, it makes me think of Snoop Dogg, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of thought of it.
I'm pretty sure there's a clip even from like one of Snoop's songs in this song, so maybe that's what you're thinking of.
It does interpolate "Who Am I" by Snoop Dogg, so it does have something. I think that I don't know if they actually took it, but I think they were inspired by Snoop Dogg.
Very inspired.
You know what my first thought was on this? this song sounds like 100 songs. There's like 100 songs that sound like this song. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but I can tell you that there is literally nothing about this song that makes it memorable in a way that stands out or like is memorable. Like even the samples apparently get used in bigger hits.
Yep.
The hook isn't that interesting. The way they go back and forth is cool, except that Jermain Dupree is not that fun to listen to. So it sounds like Brat's hype, and then Jermain is Puff Daddying the situation. And anyway, I don't have a lot of good or bad to really say about it. I mean, it's repetitive rhyming. It's the same kind of feeling I've had, only this time more of like an R&B vibe. Like this is your slow ladies jam version of like the other songs, you know?
I guess. I mean, I wouldn't really say this is like a ladies jam.
No, but like the sound.
Okay.
Maybe not like the lyrics, because the lyrics are basically the same shit that we've gotten on the other 3 songs. Like I feel like Kriss should have been here for this one just to say about this song sounds exactly like the last one. Because I think for the one time ever I'd have been agreeing with him. Now that's cool. Like I picture her as a live performer. I picture this shit going live and her working the crowd. And this has a lot to do with this book I'm reading. It's inspiring me just how there's a difference between the live environment and the studio environment. This works really good. What she's doing here live with the DJ, you can rock the crowd, do some ad-libby shit, fuck around, freestyle a bit. You know, that sounds cool. This on the record, it's like, okay, we're literally on track for it. And this apparently is the huge single that went platinum. And I'm sitting here going, why? Maybe it's because it sounds like single. It just sounds like a single. Like it's what a single is supposed to sound like.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't know, I give it a 4.1. It's a little flair to it. Nothing is wrong with it, but nothing stands out to me.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. I mean, anyways, I'll just start. Anyways, whatever. I don't have anything else to.
Just say it. Just do it.
Okay. Anyways, so I mean, these two, you can hear it's like a smooth transition from the last song into this one, and it flows well. And they're sort of like loyal to each other. They're helping each other out, and they're like. There's one line I thought that was kind of funny. There's a new tag team in town. Blank whoop, there it is. And I thought that was like a really weird but funny and fitting, and like, you know, like it doesn't like work today necessarily, but it's still like it was very 90s. And it's basically like a song for like the artist and like the producer to work together to make these like great songs, and that they're gonna make these like beautiful funky sounds, and it's just like them like working together. And I thought that they sounded like good together, like bouncing off of each other. I think that she definitely like has like the talent between the two of them. Not that he doesn't have like talent in like other areas, just like in rapping, that she's
Honestly,
definitely more talented.
He is quite the producer.
He's quite the producer. I can definitely say that. I thought it was good flows. It was good. I liked it. I give this a 4.4.
I had no idea what we were reviewing when we started. We typically pick a little wiser than this one in terms of having like deep, meaningful shit to talk about. But like I said, this is a very cool album for perspective, just in terms of the overall, like it's part of the landscape. We can't just cherry pick all the good shit, you know. Sometimes it's good to look at what Jermain Dupree did. No, I don't know. Maybe Jermain Dupree is dope shit. Maybe this is dope to y'all, and y'all like, who the fuck are these kids? You know. Anyway, may the funk be with ya.
All right.
A real fresh voice over top of low freak.
SNOOPDO. Anyway, how do you feel about this song?
This is basically another song for you to enjoy the music and to smoke weed to and take it easy. And she's kind of saying like she's tough and don't fuck with her. And I have some of the lyrics. I got what you need. Do you want to fly? This is your brain on drugs. And I have been captured, taken over by the captivating strength of the most funkified high. So, I mean, I kind of liked her little reference to This Is Your Brain on Drugs, which was like a huge campaign back in like the 90s. And I thought that was funny that she's like talking about like smoking weed and she's like, whatever. And so clearly not taking that message very seriously. And she talks about being from Chicago, and overall it's a pretty funky and an easy listen, overall song. I like this one. I found it was very smooth, enjoyable. I liked it. I gave it a 4.5 on 5.
And
we have Latasha Scott featured on here as well.
You got the where? I couldn't even figure out. Is she singing? Where is she?
I thought she did the background.
Maybe. I don't know. She's featured. Genius didn't really clearly identify where she was, and I just kind of heard the Brat and then other people singing along with it, but it also maybe sounds like Jermain's there. Anyway, so everything I've said about all the other songs, down to the B to the R to the A to the T line, it's just the same shit. It's cool. It's fine. I like the fact that she's still hard with it, like Brat Westside busting like a 380. Like, she has these lines, and I think that relative to the women out there, because there's a couple of things she does bring up, is that there's no other women like her, and maybe that's true. Maybe she's like the hardest woman, but I don't know when Lady of Rage appeared, but Lady of Rage is harder, and I enjoyed her more.
But I don't think that there's also a lot of ladies that like necessarily like at this time were singing like weed songs. We're like chilled
well, that's
out,
what I'm saying.
like, weed
I
songs.
specifically picked Lady of Rage because around that time I know she was just the death row version, right? Like, I don't know that much about her, but everything I heard from her has always been fucking dope. And I know she was involved with like the back in the day shit. But maybe I don't know my timelines that well. Still, like, I get the credibility that she's putting herself out there like that. It's just a shame that she teamed up with Jermain Dupree and everything kind of comes off so vapid. And it's not that it's bad. It's just like, I got what you need. Do you want to fly? This is your brain on drugs, and I have been captured, taken over by the captivating strength of the most Funkdafied high. I mean, it's fine. It's really enjoyable. It's a good listen. It's not great and it's not bad. It's just good. It's just enjoyable. It's just some shit you'd throw on at a party or a show I'd want to go see. 4.25 on 5. It does all of the job that it's supposed to do. The next one is called
Ain't No Thang.
Funkified as I combine them to get the good and funkified. Can you ride with this bitch?
I mean, this sounds like, again, like a West Coast beat.
Yep.
A little bit on the slower end. I noticed that she throws around being from the West Side, which I think is West Side Chicago, but makes it sound like it's California. And maybe I'm wrong, but like when I first heard it, I thought she was like this song. I was like, oh, she's Cali. And then I looked it up and it was like, oh, Chicago. That was my actual genuine thought process.
But she mentioned Chicago a couple of times on this album.
I know, but when my first listen going through it, that's what I caught.
Okay.
And this is fine. It's, again, smoothie, dancey music. I don't know. I feel like my commentary's trash because there's not a lot for me to do. Like, I do a lot of lyrical deep dives. I think YT is really cool, and having that like accent kick in here and just that different flavor on this project added something nice. But he comes in at the beginning and goes away. And then, the rest of the song kind of she's a little harder. And I can't say she's like repeating a bunch of shit in this one, so it's cool. Like, it ain't no thang for me to lay a busted down, buck a sucker down, cause me don't fuck around with them that be fussing on that fake shit. I'm on that little tip, you ain't heard about the real bitch. And I'm like,
that's right.
Yeah, but I heard the rest of this project, and you're kind of copying a style, and it's really hard for me to be like, yo, are you really like talking about fake people when you're being marketed as the female somebody else?
Right.
Like, I guess I can't unassociate those ideas from my brain listening to this project. So while I appreciate everything that it is, it just still, every song has felt the same to me. This one is of a good and enjoyable quality, so I'm going to give it another 4.25, but it's everything I said about every other song.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, YT, he has like a very reggae kind of a sound to him. So it is a little bit jarring at the beginning because like he just kind of comes in and does his thing, but it is like it works and it doesn't kind of at the same time. But I liked it. It was interesting. And then we have like the Brat, and I think that maybe like the contrast with like YT, she is like able to like really show off her like skills as a rapper, and I thought that was really good, like another like chance for her to like show off a little bit. Like I really wasn't finding any flaws in her raps.
I want to be clear. Her rap is, from a technical delivery
She's
and
great. Like,
flow
she's
point, next
pretty
level.
perfect.
My
Yeah.
main criticism is that
She's not original.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and I think it's sort of. So I think what she says on this one is it's not really a big deal for her to like prove to people that she's like the best rapper, and that she will beat all of her rivals, even guys, and she will be better than all of them because she is. And she's kind of saying like, I'm a really great rapper, and she's tough, and she talks about being from Chi-Town, from Chicago, and will shoot you. But I don't really think that she's like necessarily like the most, like, I think that she does have like a little bit of like a bad girl kind of like vibe, and I think that she isn't, like, I saw something about her getting arrested and like different things like that.
Like,
so I think she is like a kind of a bad girl.
She's real tough. I don't think she effectively proves she's the best rapper.
But she is a good rapper.
Best. That's what she's saying.
Well, we can't all be the best.
No, but if you'll notice, something we always look for is this rapper saying that they are the best, or that they are dope, that they are going to take everyone out? Or do you have guys who are like, I'm the best at what I do, don't cop my style? Like, there's two sides to it. Seems like
she's very good at the Snoop style.
So, like, my point is more, you'll notice that the ones who seem to have really, really distinct styles don't even need to say that they are the best. They might bring it up here and there, but it's not a focal point of anything. And when they do bring up the best of the best seem to be so humble about it that they're never really claiming it.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, even Eminem puts people above him up until recently.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
But I think that she does talk about that she has like the hottest rhymes on here. I think she does think that she spits hard. She doesn't fuck up. She practices. I think she really does like perfect her skill. Like, at least that's what she's talking about on this song. Anyways, is that she comes in and she doesn't just half-ass it. Like, she does a great job, and she's thinking all the time, I think. I think she's just pretty fly. I just thought it was, overall, I thought it was a great song. I don't really have too much to hate on it. I gave this a 4.5 on 5. I liked it.
Okay. The next one features Mac Daddy of Kross. Rest in peace, good sir.
Mm-hmm.
Come and get some.
Always ready to go. Now I know that you know that I know you get none, but if
You know what it is?
Tell me.
If at one point on this project she had been like, a big respect to the Snoop D-O-double-G, or just something like really...
Or if like Snoop had been featured on this like album.
Or like something like that, just like paying homage to it, I think I could swallow this a lot more. But it really just feels like they copped the style. And I'm having trouble. Even this song, the same feeling.
Yep.
The Brat tat-tat-tats all up in your town. Like, even Snoop Dogg doesn't do it that much on the album. Like, he did it a couple of times, and he makes it kind of like a hook or something. It gets creative. This just feels like for a person who's going to say that they're the best, you really, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, I'm not that bitch to be fucked with or seen, because putting it down ain't no thing, bitch, you know the routine. Like, it's just more like you're talking about doing it, not proving that you're actually doing it.
I guess so, yeah.
Because, like, look, you can't repeat rhymes. Like, to me, that's a big no-no, and at least, like, for 94.
Like, lyrically, yeah.
And, I mean, you can bring up the age, but this is one of those times I'm going to say, but Nas wrote Illmatic at 17. Right? And
yeah.
Whether or not it popped, that's not the point. Because it didn't pop.
It was the poetry in it.
So, I mean, people don't like to point out that Nas then kind of sold out a bit on the next album, from what I understand, because he kind of went a little more with that mafioso shit to sell, to get more sales, because Illmatic underperformed commercially. Still, it's a fun tangent point, but yeah, this just is fine. To be or not to be fucked with is the Brat with some gangsta shit. I'm capping any that step or disrespect in my clip. It be the crooked letter O, double that once more, deaf, and I have yet to speak on this badass hoe. How many bitches do you that kick shit like this, bitch? No, others, so others witness this rat kid wicked. Alright, it's fine, but again, talking to talk, that's what it feels like. And then Kross dude comes in and he sounds fine, but a little bit different, because he sounds like this rich kid who's like, yeah, people are jealous because I'm rich, which is probably true at this point. He's like,
Yeah.
what, 15, 16, 17 maybe?
Loaded.
Yeah, I'd be jealous too. So that's kind of like, he reminded me of Lil Yachty a bit in terms of what he raps about. Like, Lil Yachty's a bit confused, people are hating, so he does his thing, keeps rolling with it. And that's all his verse was. At least it felt authentic. It was just kind of uninteresting. Like, there was none of that dope shit like, somebody tried to rhyme but they can't rhyme like this, somebody tried to rhyme but they can't rhyme like that. Was dope. We ain't getting none of that here. None of that wiggity whack, like none of that shit. But it's fine. I feel like it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
4.25.
Yep.
Go figure.
I mean, I also gave this a 4.25. I mean, this is her just kind of saying that she's hard and doesn't care what people have to say about her, basically, and that she's going to destroy everybody that, like, gets in her way and, whatever. I'm guessing, like, she's talking about, like, in, like, the rap game, or, like, she's hard on the street. She'll beat you up. She'll shoot you with her gun, whatever. Kross was good.
It's Mac Daddy.
Or Mac Daddy, yeah.
Because Daddy Mac is also in Kross, but he's not here.
Right, yeah. I mean, he was good as well. He sounded funky. I mean, it was a pretty decent song. And one thing I wanted to also mention that I, like, kind of caught when I was, like, looking on Genius. This song was also partially written by Lenny Kravitz, which I thought was really interesting and kind of...
Was it partially written, or they sample some of his shit and have
It was partially written, like he was one of, like, the writers of this
But
song.
what I mean is, sometimes they'll give you a writing credit if they sample you, or they take something you've done and then you get the credit. So
I don't know.
There's a difference between being in the room writing it and, like, oh shit, you guys stole my music, so
Yes.
now you get to put a writing credit here.
I don't know which one it was. I assumed that he was, like, involved in some way or another, and maybe that's why he was, like, trying on.
And you know what? Maybe you're right, because, like, I'm not saying I'm wrong. I'm just trying to ask, the question.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I don't know the answer, but for me, like, this one wasn't necessarily, like, a standout. It was, it was good, but it definitely didn't stand out or it didn't feel any different than all the other songs. So I also gave it a 4.25.
All right. Well, the next one, let's see if it's actually
Mind-blowing.
mind-blowing.
Tat tat tat, I make your neck snap back. My shit is what the niggas like.
You guys might not be shocked to think that I wasn't able to find any real new commentary to add, except putting the Holyfield beating on your ass in your trunk was kind of cool. But I've heard so many people make Holyfield references that it's like, okay, it's fine. Like, I don't want to waste your time repeating myself and saying all the same shit I've said. This song is absolutely equal to all of the other ones that we have previously listened to. I mean, there is some freshness. Like, it's where I take you with my fantastic tactics, exciting like gymnastics and harder than mathematics. I obliviate the mind, leaving you in a daze for days. Fucked up by the ways. I play shit complicated, but basic. And I would argue that you play basic pretty in a way that might sound more complicated, but it's still all very basic to me. Like, look, same shit, 4.25. I'm not feeling the lines. I feel like, again, it's just being said.
Yep.
And they work, and she delivers them, and it's just that the passion isn't there. There's no soul in this music. For something that's funk, I believe soul is a part of it, right? Like having some soul in your funk. Like, you can't just make funk sounding shit if there's no soul in that shit.
I guess so. I mean, funk is just sort of like the way
Dogg,
you feel. I feel
right,
like it's
that's
like
what I mean.
the way that you walk. Like, you, like, just, like, exude funk, like, a little bit,
I feel like
know?
she put, and I'm not saying it's her, it might just be Jermain Dupree. It just feels like she put on a costume for this album.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely one way to think about it, yeah.
All right, 4.25.
Yeah, I mean, it's another funky song. She's spitting mind-blowing gangsta shit is kind of like what she's saying here. Again, we have, like, smoking weed on this one.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
Was your mind blowing?
No.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, she raps well, but she kind of, like, sings about rapping well, and, like, that's kind of, like, one of, like, those, like, 3 topics that she kind of covers over and over again.
Weed, funk, and I'm the shit.
Yeah, I guess so.
Isn't that mainstream rap in a nutshell?
Heyo. So, and it's very Snoop's, like, sounding again. I mean, like, again, we're just kind of repeating it over and over again, but that's what it is. We're getting the same thing. It's kind of repeated. It's good, but it's not original. So I'm also giving this one another 4.25.
Yeah, that was a little shorter, so why don't we just give it to you one more time?
All right.
And I'm gonna bust your lip. Now I know that you know that I know you don't want me to, but keep.
Word up, hey. Word up, hey. So I noticed that the music video is to a remix.
Okay.
The beat is nicer, and it's like a slightly improved experience. Sean Puffy Coombs and his good buddy, the Notorious Big, show up in the video. Biggie walks in, and then the rest of the video is playing out. People are up dancing, and Biggie never stands up. He just stays in his chair, and it just cuts to him. And it might even be like the same cut, like when they did the Juicy video and they kept replaying
Oh, yeah.
it. And it's just Biggie in the chair. Like they got him there. They could afford to have him there for like 20 minutes, and they used the
Get
one
all
shot.
the clips of him.
Just in the chair. Everyone else is dancing. Biggie. I just thought that was hilarious. It was amazing. And thank you, Super Old School 1994, for reminding me to watch music videos, because at one point, Sean Puffy Coombs has his kind of face that he makes when he's in front of the camera and he knows this is his 2 seconds to get your attention. Otherwise, it's fine. They go to some rich party where they are drinking champagne and eating chicken wings. Chicken wings.
Ain't no thing but a
honestly,
chicken wing.
I would rather have chicken wings at any party I go to than half the bullshit rich people try to feed you.
Caviar.
It's just the fucking worst. These tiny little things, like, come on, just give me some food. No. And that shit costs 10 times the amount of a fucking
Agreed.
hamburger.
Yeah.
Not worth it. Anyway, I don't know what to say about this song. I actually liked it less than all of the other ones because it's slower. It's got like less going to it. It's supposed to be this smooth experience. And when I heard the remix, I saw what the song wanted to be. And the remix version gets the 4.25 standard of this album. This version is just a little bit flat compared to it. Jermain Dupree just keeps talking. He's just there. I don't like him. I feel like the verses are really short. And there's a lot of, yeah, hey, like a lot of just filler on this song. And I'm like, okay, this is a weird way to end the album, in my opinion. Like, I don't know, put like Funkdafied or even Made a Funk Bewitch Ya or ain't any of the other ones is better than this. Everything else on this project is better than this song. So I give it a 4. I'm not really feeling it. Like, I don't know if I should really go on and comment about the lyrics, but like, Brat is the, and then she flips into some fantastic romantic single-handed bandit, and damn it, don't get no better, better it, don't get no more than the flow that I flow for you and hoes. And I'm just like, yeah, a lot of people get better. It gets a lot better than this. Hip-hop gets way better than this. That's the problem, is I start thinking when I listen to what people say to me in a rhyme, and if you're going to make some grandiose claims like you is the shit, you best be dropping some shit that is unequivocally great. So 4.
I guess so.
It's just 4.
I mean, this one, she says she's going to give us some funky music and that you're going to love it. And I think that I like that you can hear her having like a lot of fun on this track, like kind of like making the album that she's having a good time. It's enjoyable. And I think that kind of translates a little bit like onto her songs. Like they are fun. They're good to listen to. They're enjoyable. They're kind of happier songs. There's not really too much that's like violent and like, you know, that's terrible and whatever.
She's pulling guns and every other
Yeah,
song.
yes, there is like some like, you know, gangster stuff, but overall I would say it's one of the nicer rap albums or whatever. And I like that. I mean, because she's like, you can hear her like smiling and laughing and goofing around a little bit. And it makes you feel like you kind of get to know her a little bit more. So I like that. I thought that was nice. So overall, I found it enjoyable. It was smooth. It was funky. I liked it. I give this a 4.5 actually.
That's fair. Look, this album was probably not for me. And why I say that is because it's meant to be fun. I don't really like music that's sole intention in life is to be fun. I believe that music should have something more to it. And that's what I want out of it.
I think sometimes like a fun, generic, kind of like fluffy album, it is a nice change from like all of like the everybody's like depressed, all of these terrible like real life situations. Like it is nice to kind of have that variety.
I prefer everything real. at the cost of like, I'd rather there never be a happy song again if it meant that like we could get rid of the vapid.
Because I'm happy.
Like that song is, it's nice to listen to, but of course you're happy. You're Pharrell. You look like you're 20 and you're rich. It's pretty hard for you to be miserable.
And you have a cool hat.
Anyway, like, I gave the album a 4.227. Here's the thing. It sounds really nice, and I can't deny that it sounds good, and it's not like anything's unenjoyable. The beats are funky, fresh. The overall sound has what you're looking for.
Yep.
And like I said a couple of times, I bet the live performance of this project actually gives you an experience that far supersedes the album version, because this is not music to sit in your chair and just like listen to. It's not really its purpose. You should be out there dancing and moving around and grooving and shit. So
I feel like this could be like a driving around town in like the summer, smoking weed or
like,
whatever.
Even to that end, there are so many things of that nature
Like
that
this
exist.
may or may not be your first choice.
Like, I don't even think this is in anyone's top 100. Like, I mean, the song, there might be a song or two that you're watching this has like a nostalgic connection to, but if you really have the choice of all music, I'd be like hard pressed to recommend this album, except for the historical value of like studying hip hop. I would say this is an interesting album. It is one of the first times a lady spit like this. One
Yep.
of. I'm not saying the first, I'm saying one of. Maybe it's the first time a lady who spit like this even charted. Okay, that's fair too. It's seminal in a sense, but it just is also like, for me, I don't know, like it's well-made pop. It just sounds like pop to me. It sounds like vapid, airy music to put on when you don't want to think, and it hits all the check marks. Like, we're supposed to talk about this. It sounds like somebody studied Snoop Dogg but didn't really get it. It just sounds like Jermain Dupree is like a Jewish executive making some shit off of people. And I don't mean that, and like I just figure you guys watching it might know what I mean by that. I know it sounds bad, but like it doesn't sound like he's very connected to shit. It just sounds like he's trying to profit. And like you look at that and you see it all over today, and I guess maybe now you know what to watch for, and maybe back then it was a different world, but
Timbaland?
I don't know. I don't know that Timbaland did that, did he? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he definitely like blew
well, at least
up,
he
right?
like fucking had good sounding shit.
Yeah, that's true.
'Cause I'm bringing sexy back.
Yeah.
Anyway, what did you feel about this one?
Overall, I gave this a 4.35, so an 87%. I mean, as much as it's not like an original sound, it was still pretty enjoyable.
Are you really willing to call this a classic, though?
Like that is the thing. Like it makes me wonder. Like did she evolve with Snoop as he evolved? Like did when his like sound changed and became something different? Did hers change, or did she stick with this sound, or like is it completely different, or like what was it that like made her like copy this sound, or was it just him? Like, or did was she like already performing, like she was very inspired by Snoop and she was like, this is kind of like the style I want to make and rap, and it just sort of, and Jermain made it happen, or like I don't really know like what, like who, the chicken or the egg, like which came first, but it definitely was Snoop. Snoop was the answer, is the that he came first. So I don't know, I enjoyed it. I was kind of ashamed that I didn't know who she was.
But like it also makes sense that you don't know who she is, because when we think about classics, like
she doesn't stand out,
and there's nothing timeless to this sound, to this particular album.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that to be rude. It's just like I give it a 4.2 because it's objectively well-made fluff, and if you're into pop, it's probably a dope-ass album. Like this is that kind of safe shit I would like play for my mom. Be like, here, you can feel hard and not feel offended. And that's what it is.
True.
You can feel hard while not being offended to this album.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you really like. There's no
like
lines.
I probably
Literally
wouldn't go back to this.
Not a
album.
single line got crossed. Not one offensive thing got said. Not anything really dangerous or hard got said.
Although she does have the parental advisory sticker on the front of her album.
They say fuck. If you say any kind of
True,
swearing,
I
you
guess.
have to. And like there was swearing, and she said some words like she'll pull guns on you, but like. she also alluded to it in an offhanded kind of way. There was no like, I'm gonna pull out the gas, stick it in your face, pull the trigger, blow your fucking
It's like
brains
she
out.
doesn't really know what to do with a gun if she, if she has one.
See,
but
I
she
don't
doesn't
want to
really know
like.
what to do with it.
I don't want to
know.
like say it like that. I'm saying it doesn't sound like to me this is the album she really wanted to make. It sounds like this is the album that would get radio play, and she wanted the money, and
Hey.
that's fair.
Girls got to do what a girl's got to do.
Like I don't even shit on anybody for taking it like the money. Like, cause I don't know what her life was like. I know how bad circumstances could be, and at a certain point in time, if somebody offered me a check to do whatever, I probably would have taken it. So, I can't judge like that, but I can say that this is not an album I would recommend. It might be important. It might have historic value, being the first chick to get a platinum on the rap charts. That is very significant.
Yep.
So it's maybe worth listening to, but go pick
And it's short and sweet. It's 9 songs. It's not that long.
So just pick any song, listen to one. If you like it, you'll like the whole tape. If you don't, you won't.
There you go.
Anyway.
If you like Snoop, you'll like this. If you want to listen,
I disagree, because like I think Snoop has a flair and a swag and a style, but more importantly, Snoop's a creative writer, so he actually writes some substance and shit.
That's true.
Like
yeah.
you're not hearing the. It's not like this. This is just like Snoop Light.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like Snoop for your mother. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Anyway, thank y'all for watching it. Feel free to let us know what you think in
What
the
do you got?
comments.
Yeah.
If you
what's
agree
your
with us,
opinion?
if you think we're fucking crazy, anything like that. And if we're wrong, we're very happy to admit it. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, let us know. I'll definitely answer you. We'll have a little conversation down in the comments. Special thanks to the Patreons, Kriss Prado, Carl J, Ismail Gadamsi, Linda Williams, Super Old School 1994.
Whoop, whoop, whoop,
They're
whoop.
awesome folk. They support us. We want to make more of these. We want to throw more time into it. We want to make this better. Unfortunately, money helps. So if you want to check that out, you can force our hand in requests, and we'll use all proceeds to build shit up for us. Woot! Like one day, get a real video editor who knows how to make video look good. Gosh, that would be dope. No. Anyway. On top of that, you get access to content early. We have some Discord shit, a public one in the description, and the patrons will have a private one that will give you the link when you sign up. And so if you want to help us, that would be cool. If not, feel free to subscribe for more content. Like the video if you did. And like I said, we'll chit chat in the comments. I dropped a project recently. You can check that out on Spotify and all the other music-y things, plus this very YouTube channel. It's all there. So yeah, you can check that out. And we'll catch you next time with a longer, more full-length album that will be, I think it'll be what I outcast, but it might not be, so don't hold me to it.